Hey everyone, it's me, Patchdan Bogad. I'm here to speak with you guys again um, about something that I'm more than sure that you already know or you've had heard before from a friend, a movie, whatever have you. It's the Goetia. The Goetia is such a very beautiful book by theory. And what I mean by theory is the fact that there's things in it that I wouldn't agree upon, like entrapping a particular being, like that of, like, let's say Satan, Lucifer, whatever have you, and then demanding them for their time. I never understood that. I'm like, you're asking this individual to come out of their realm, the astral, to help you, to assist you in your life, and you're demanding them by different judo Christian names. That, no, you're not gonna get that on my channel. You probably remember from my other video, the premiere video of the preface of this channel. I take an approach to the Goetia in a positive way. I see Satan in such a way where he should be seen as someone who could be the potentiality of a friend, a father, you know, and that's my approach. I see Satan as an older brother to me, and what I mean by that is exactly that. He's like an older brother. He's someone that's always there for me, that's willing to teach me, but of course, it doesn't come without its cons, and that's what I'm going to talk about too, because it's great to have a relationship with the Goetia, and they are human friendly. But the interesting thing about the cons or the consequences of getting to know those of the Goetia is not what you think. Okay, so let's kind of unravel that. We're not saying that when you're friends with, let's say, Lucifer, um, you're not going to bump heads, because there's going to be something in your life where you need to make that needed change in your life. And in the supernatural, in the occult, is called shadow work. So in other words, Lucifer is going to light that, or shine that Luciferian light into the darkness of your life so that he could correct you. And that's one of the moments in your life that is definitely a pinnacle in your life, because not only are you with someone that you enjoy, you develop a relationship with, he's also doing the same to you, even though it's through other means. And what I mean by other means is that by putting that dark mirror right in front of you, and you peering deep within it, you're gazing at it, you're actually looking at your shadow self. It kind of reminds me of Persona 5, the Persona games, because it's the same concept. In fact, it is the concept of shadow work. You go into yourself, and then you actually acknowledge your shadow self, or you make needed changes in your life. And that process within itself, it could hurt, and I mean hurt a lot, to a point where, even from my personal experiences, when I was much younger in Satanism, in the left hand path, I was really, really torn apart. I was in tears. I mean, tears, what I was going through, because it hurt so much. But it's not what you think. Because when I was just starting out, I was thinking the same thing as you was probably thinking. I was thinking more like, what are they doing to me? Are they trying to kill me? All I'm doing is asking for assistance. But slowly but surely, in intervals of time, my guardian Satan, he helped me to appreciate that's exactly what he's doing. But a lot of people cannot handle their reflection. They cannot handle that criticism. Like, for example, here's a recent um, experience that I had with Satan. Um, Without, like, spewing out all the details, Satan progressively got me to YouTube to start this channel, because that was his way to tell me, um, I won't say a write off, because it sounds as if like it's too, like, business like, but it's more like I'm helping, let's say, other people to get to know who he is. And by doing that, it's hard work, and it is a lot of hard work to do that. And because it is hard work, um, it does make a lot of sense to produce such videos like this, because by getting to know Satan, he helped me to appreciate, if you want to manifest anything in your reality, you would have to do something in exchange for it. And that's exactly what this is all about. But interestingly, how he went about it is exactly what I'm trying to bring out to you, friends. Where I completely was, I won't say angry or upset, but I felt slighted because he simply helped me to appreciate, this whole thing with you playing video games and chilling. Yeah, you would have to like put that on hold and go to YouTube, and this is what I need you to do: make videos about moi, that's Satan. And I took that the wrong way because at first glance, hearing that, I'm saying like, but I like playing video games and I like, to chill. But that's not what Satan was saying, and he wasn't saying that to, it's not realistic to say not to do these things because there's nothing wrong within it, within itself. It's not wrong. But if you really think about what he was trying to say, though it was a little pushy, I took the criticism as, okay, he really just wants me to do this for him because out of all the things I've done for him, it's like this is really what I've been doing the whole entire time. If you really think about it. And what I mean by that, friends, is this. I remember when I first met Satan and any other Goetia, I started out with that little black book, writing down all these experiences that I had with Satan. And if I, through trial and error, I would to hit my head, I would write down what I've learned and what Satan was trying to teach me. And from there, I transitioned to downloading the recorder on my smartphone and doing what I'm doing now. Except for I didn't have the desire to go on YouTube, but I always pictured myself um, on YouTube teaching other people about Satan. And that was for years and years of doing that. And, I would think other people who are already on YouTube, like Orly Stewart, E.A. Coetting, J.D. Temple, and the list goes on and on and on. Even those that I did not mention, those are just a few of the many that I've learned that, you know, if I go back many years ago, it's not like YouTube wasn't available. It's just that there's not many people that would to talk about Satan on the same level as my experiences and how I love Satan. But those are just the very few that I've learned when I was recording, and I was learning at the same time about how I'm able to not just confirm my own reality with these particular demons that I was working with at that time and still working with. Um, it just felt so nice, if you will, to reach out to individuals, if you will, and know like these individuals having the same experiences as I have. They've learned what I've learned, and that's way prior to me actually watching them on YouTube. So in other words, I first learned the ins and outs of how the Goetia operates, and then going on YouTube, I'll go, oh wow, wow, JD Temple hit it right on the spot. Or Orly Stewart is really good at what she says. Why? Because I've experienced it first when it was just me in this house, and I'm just like, that's just such really strong confirmation because all that did was push me to do what I'm doing now. So that's why when I say Satan was a little pushy, but yet he was actually training me, if you will, to be where I'm at now, to do what others are doing on YouTube, and that's something that I highly respect, and that's why I do it. The money doesn't really matter to me. It's like it's my passion. It's what I do. It's like I just love it. You know what I mean? And by that love, it's like as long as people get to hear the message, that's what matters. Because if you're that individual that just do it for the money, or you do it because um, publicity or for image, that to me, I won't judge, but all I could say is like for me, I'm doing it because I love Satan and I really do love all the things that he has done for me. And you friends could have the same experiences too with the Goetia. You see, that's why I feel, and I said this early on in the video, the best way that anyone could approach the Goetia is out of respect. Like they're higher beings than you and I, and they're vastly intelligent. That's why I use the word daemon, because it means spirit guide. It just means someone who's a teacher, and knowing that I realize, and I want you friends to realize, once you ask Satan or anyone for something, anything, and they agree upon it, you need to realize like the demons are not so concerned about giving you anything. You know, it's like they are, and they are almost like by law, by that pact to, you know, put up their end of the bargain, and so are you. But the real lesson of what you should take away from this video is the fact that they're not concerned about just giving you, let's say, the millions of dollars, or if it's a love spell, you know, that person that you want. They're actually more concerned about teaching you, not just giving you, teaching you. And that within itself is a process, because so many things have to be put in place and time has to go by in order for that to work. Like, for example, if you want to obviously communicate with the daemon, what do you think you have to do first? Well, let me answer that. Number one, you would have to open up your psychic centers, your chakras, your throat chakra especially, you know, and that is going to help you to appreciate, as you do that ritual for the first time. You have that sigil, you write it out, you concentrate on that sigil, and you really try to visualize that particular daemon the best of your ability with good intention. And you, within your mind, you, using telepathy, you're talking with this daemon, and you're telling them with pure intention that this is what you want. You have to first realize that they could communicate with you in any sort of way. They could communicate with you by this particular video. They could communicate with you by signs of synchronicities, your favorite song, your television show. The list goes on. But one thing I've learned when it comes to daemons of the Goetia is, as they're teaching you, they could teach you through life experiences. It could be anything, but my favorite is the life experiences. Like, for example, um, let's say you wanted to open up a bakery, and within this bakery, you wanted to own it, and you want to obviously sell, you know, these pastries to the world, because that's what you've asked for that particular daemon, that request. But here's the thing, it's going to take time for that to basically happen, to manifest. And within that interval of time, what do you think you have to do in order to achieve it? See, it's not only that the daemon is going to actually bring that out, um, of you in a way where you have to first off believe it. You have to work in accordance to what you believe in. You know, it's one of those things where I don't want to use the word faith in a Judeo-Christian way, but I'm using faith in the sense of evidence based off of the convictions that you have. And I mean that because as you work with that particular daemon, you're going to get suggestions or even verbal confirmation on what you have to do on your own part in order to achieve it. Like, for example, if you want that bakery, you would have to not just stick with that one recipe, you want to expand it. You want to continue to be innovative. Because if you think of it like McDonald's, what if McDonald's, the company, the franchise, stayed with just the Big Mac recipe? I mean, it'll do well because it's a tasty burger, but we have to think about the world as a whole. It's very competitive. So you have other companies that want to imitate not just the recipe, but try to outbeat your product. So how could you be not just ahead of the game, but when you do manifest it, you have more than enough material. Um, you have like that repertoire of just skill, if you will, because you didn't just stick with that one little thing. And that one little thing I'm talking about is you have that passion, you know, for cooking. It's like it has to be more than that. It's like for the whole entire world to really appreciate what you make, it really depends on you and the work that you put into it. So in other words, it's like it's hard work, but it's good hard work, because as you develop those recipes, you're making these different pastries. By the time you manifest it, an X amount of time has gone by, and if you think about it, the bigger the manifestation, the more time you have to wait. But that's not a bad thing, and that's something that you really shouldn't be afraid of or be thinking about to begin with, That's why when I was learning about the Goetia, when I first started out, my mentor helped me to appreciate that you shouldn't be impatient, but to be patient. And of course, my mentor is Satan himself. And I won't get into it, but I've learned the hard way on what that means to be patient. Because believe me, if you think of a younger version of yourself and you're being bratty and you're being impatient, believe me, Satan has a way of really helping you to appreciate that doesn't fly and that's not how things work. And I've learned, and believe me, till this day, I understood you have to be patient. So, in other words, to summarize it, all that detail, and to miniaturize it, you you have to first off think about time itself the way the daemon sees it. Time itself as one individual helped me to appreciate like 1,000 years is about a season to them, or you could see it as time is like a line, a straight line, and they're above time and they see things before you do. Therefore, they are in the better position and situation to tell you what to do, how to change it, and things of that nature so that they could better align you with your manifestation. You see, and that's pretty much that's pretty much the integral part of it. It's you have to understand it from their angle too, because when I was younger, in a spiritual sense, in an infantile state, I thought of time like anyone else. It's me, myself, and I want it now. It's like life is a fast lane. It's like fast food, and I always thought that it was gonna come the very next day. And again, Satan has a way of teaching. Knocked that shit right out of me. Knocked it right out. And I was learned to again be patient, learn about time, and to only realize you have to trust the demos that they're gonna do their end, but they're also trusting you that you're not gonna be that person that's just gonna sit around and just do nothing. Hence, that's why when Satan helped me to appreciate not to play video games or to chill and that type of fashion where you're just not doing anything, not being as productive, that criticism strengthens me to do what I do now on YouTube. And that really, it motivates me to do things that I never did before, even though I really, really wanted to basically do this, but without the desire of being on YouTube. But I'm happy that I'm doing it now. It paid off. I'm able to talk about Satan as much as I want, and those who are willing to listen to appreciate it. And all I could tell you is once you get to know the Goetia in closing, you're going to pretty much you're not going to regret it. Just like I don't regret speaking with you guys, my family, my spiritual family of the occult. You know, you guys are not going to regret it because it's like the long term, you're going to have the best friend that you have ever came in contact with. But of course, before you even get to know any of the Goetia, any mentor, any person who means well is going to tell you, please try to deprogram your mind first of what your previous religion, taught you about the occult or Satan himself. And do know that's a process within itself. Don't rush into this. Take your time, and as you do so, get to learn more about the Goetia, which particular daemon you would most likely like to work with to assist you in matters. And in that fashion, you're able to be better off than who and what you were yesterday. So in other words, you're educating yourself. You're really doing something that is productive of someone who is serious about getting to know the Goetia. And as you do that, and the more you start to see certain little things in the house, like this cup moving across my table, that to me would be nothing, only because I've been with Satan for a very long time, and I've always felt like the Goetia was, I just had a calling for it. Even when I was a Christian, many, many, many years ago, um, I was always attracted to the darker things. It was just one of those things where I just had to keep to myself because obviously Judo-Christian theology, they just would not accept that. But all in all, I'm happy to give more advice Either you want to know about the candle color, the incense, and about a particular daemon, you're more than welcome to do research. It's the internet. That's always provided for you. But of course, go to websites that are not owned by Christians or the major religions that are going to stop you from learning the truth and the proper way of getting to know who the Goetia really are as individuals. So that way, any preconceptions that you have, it could be taken away, and that within itself would be, in its own due time, it'll have its place. And then when you approach the daemon, you don't have this weird imagining of what Satan is. You know what I mean? It's like it's just completely washed away, and you have a better time getting to know your particular satanic friend. So thank you all for listening and watching. If you have any more questions about the Goetia, like something real simple, like is it safe? Well, of course it's safe. I wouldn't recommend anyone who's still in that state of fear to go ahead and do it. Like I said, you want to deprogram yourself, and then as you do that, then I would ask more meaningful questions. And I'm here, guys. I am. Just always leave a comment, and I'll be there to answer you when I can. Have a good one. Thank you, guys.